What's your name? The chairman inquired with increasing severity and even began to advance upon the unknown man. My name, the citizen responded, not a bit put out by the severity. Well, let's say it's Koroviev. But wouldn't you like a little snack, Nikanor Ivanovich? No formalities, eh? Excuse me, Nikanor Ivanovich began, indignantly now, what have snacks got to do with it? We must confess, unpleasant as it is, that Nikanor Ivanovich was of a somewhat rude nature. Sitting in the deceased's half is not permitted. What are you doing here? Have a seat, Nikanor Ivanovich, the citizen went on yelling, not a bit at a loss, and began fussing about offering the chairman a seat. Utterly infuriated, Nikanor Ivanovich rejected the seat and screamed. But who are you? I, if you please, serve as interpreter for a foreign individual who has taken up residence in this apartment. The man calling himself Koroviev introduced himself and clicked the heels of his scuffed, unpolished shoes. Nikanor Ivanovich opened his mouth. The presence of some foreigner in this apartment, with an interpreter to boot, came as a complete surprise to him, and he demanded explanations. The interpreter explained willingly. A foreign artiste, Mr. Woland, had been kindly invited by the director of the Variety, Stepan Bogdanovich Likodayev, to spend the time of his performances, a week or so, in his apartment, about which he had written to Nikanor Ivanovich yesterday, requesting that he register the foreigner as a temporary resident, while Likodayev himself took a trip to Yalta. He never wrote me anything, the chairman said in amazement. Just look through your briefcase, Nikanor Ivanovich, Koroviev suggested sweetly. Nikanor Ivanovich, shrugging his shoulders, opened the briefcase and found Likodayev's letter in it. How could I have forgotten about it? Nikanor Ivanovich muttered, looking dully at the opened envelope. All sorts of things happen, Nikanor Ivanovich, all sorts. Koroviev rattled. Absent-mindedness, fatigue and high blood pressure, my dear friend Nikanor Ivanovich. I'm terribly absent-minded myself. Someday, over a glass, I'll tell you a few facts from my biography, you'll die laughing. And when is Likodayev going to Yalta? He's already gone, gone. The interpreter cried. He's already wheeling along, you know. He's already devil knows where. And here the interpreter waved his arms like the wings of a windmill. Nicanor Ivanovich declared that he must see the foreigner in person, but got a refusal on that from the interpreter, quite impossible. He's busy training the cat. The cat I can show you, if you like, Koroviev offered. This Nicanor Ivanovich refused in his turn, and the interpreter straight away made the chairman an unexpected but quite interesting proposal, seeing that Mr. Woland had no desire whatsoever to live in a hotel, and was accustomed to having a lot of space. Why shouldn't the Tenants Association rent to him, Woland, for one little week, the time of his performances in Moscow, the whole of the apartment, that is, the deceased's rooms as well? It's all the same to him, the deceased, you must agree, Nicanor Ivanovich, Koroviev whispered hoarsely. He doesn't need the apartment now, does he? Nicanor Ivanovich, somewhat perplexed, objected that foreigners ought to live at the Metropole, and not in private apartments at all. I'm telling you, he's capricious as devil knows what. Koroviev whispered. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't like hotels. I've had them up to here, these foreign tourists. Koroviev complained confidentially, jabbing his finger at his sinewy neck. Believe me, they wring the soul right out of you. They come and either spy on you like the lowest son of a bitch, or else torment you with their caprices. This isn't right and that isn't right. And for your association, Nicanor Ivanovich, it's a sheer gain and an obvious profit. He won't stint on money. Koroviev looked around and then whispered into the chairman's ear, a millionaire. The interpreter's offer made clear practical sense. It was a very solid offer, yet there was something remarkably unsolid in his manner of speaking, and in his clothes, and in that loathsome, good-for-nothing pince-nez. As a result, something vague weighed on the chairman's soul, but he nevertheless decided to accept the offer. The thing was that the Tenants Association, alas, had quite a sizable deficit. Fuel had to be bought for the heating system by fall, but who was going to shell out for it, no one knew. But with the foreign tourists' money, it might be possible to wriggle out of it. However, the practical and prudent Nikanor Ivanovich said he would first have to settle the question with the Foreign Tourist Bureau. I understand. Koroviev cried out. You've got to settle it? Absolutely. Here's the telephone, Nikanor Ivanovich, settle it at once. And don't be shy about the money, he added in a whisper, drawing the chairman to the telephone in the front hall. If he won't pay, who will? You should see the villa he's got in Nice. Next summer, when you go abroad, come especially to see it, you'll gasp. The business with the Foreign Tourist Bureau was arranged over the phone with an extraordinary speed, quite amazing to the chairman. It turned out that they already knew about Mr. Wolin's intention of staying in Likodayev's private apartment and had no objections to it. That's wonderful. Koroviev yelled. Somewhat stunned by his chatter, the chairman announced that the Tenants Association agreed to rent apartment number 50 for a week to the artiste Wolin. For Nikanor Ivanovich faltered a little, then said. For 500 rubles a day. Here Koroviev utterly amazed the chairman. Winking thievishly in the direction of the bedroom, from which the soft leaps of a heavy cat could be heard, he rasped out. So it comes to 3,500 for the week? To which Nikanor Ivanovich thought he was going to add. Some appetite you've got, Nikanor Ivanovich. But Koroviev said something quite different. What kind of money is that? Ask 5, he'll pay it.